I'm out here sitting in my cold ass Finnish home, but I have never felt so proud to be a super earthian before. Helldivers 2 is something I never thought I would experience in my lifetime. The game might even give us a small glimpse into the future of gaming. But before we get to that, let's first talk about the gameplay and my thoughts on the game as a whole. Helldivers is if somebody went into a lab and mixed Deep Rock Galactic, Monster Hunter and the Battlefront series together in a glorious and very patriotic concoction. Even the tone is set right in the tutorial where your trainer is this guy.
I'm General Fresh, Super Earth's oldest and most grizzled war hero, and I'm not easy to impress. You are literally invincible. I've never seen such flawless terminal activation.
You play as John Helldiver, a small cog in the raging battle against bugs and robots. Your job is to stop the upcoming invasion and to
defend democracy at any cost.
You can head into the battle alone, with friends, or using public matchmaking. Apart from other Helldivers, you have additional backup in the form of stratagems. These little balls of joy can give you the gift of resupply package to keep shooting, or a helpful carpet bombing of napalm into the eyes of the enemy. Your mission, should you accept it, is to go around the map and eliminate nearly everything, be it bots or bugs in your path. Luckily, the enemy outposts have the same problem as the Death Star did, so lobbing some nades into the ventilation system clears most of your problems. So far, my favorite mission has been launching a literal nuke into the orbit. That missile was more glorious than anything I've seen in a while. You can play the game alone, but I'd advise getting at least one friend to join with you. This is because there are so many different types of stratagems, some meant for offense and others meant for defense, and unfortunately you cannot pick them all. What sets Helldiver apart from the other games is the way that it handles friendly fire. Many times while I was playing, I found my friends to be more dangerous to me than the actual enemies. I was even a danger to myself. How the hell was I supposed to know that the grenade launchers can just pink off the monster's head and land into my lower body?
Ah, my leg!
Helldivers is not afraid of showing your corpse in a million bits either after you succeed in blowing yourself up. The carpet bombings too can be of large scale, or sometimes your friend just happens to step on a mine that you put in a chokehold. If that happens, you can just use your powers to call your homie back to the game, and he'll find all the drop gear in the mangled corpse of the Helldiver that came before. Movement and shooting go hand in hand. You have two reticles on your screen. The first one is your usual dot in the middle, but the other one is an always moving circle showing where the bullets will actually go. The circle's movement will depend on your own, whether you're standing still, running or crouching. And you should always be running, because the bugs are plenty, and the only thing resembling a dodge roll is you face planting on the ground, hoping for a way out. One of the most important gameplay mechanics the devs have honed in on is the combat. The best way to describe it would be meaty, and I'm not talking about your dad's barbecue. Whenever you shoot at a thing, the game makes sure that your bullets have impact on them. Hit an armored enemy with light bullets, the shots will probably ricochet towards you instead. But shoot a big bug in their exposed buttocks with a grenade launcher? Oh boy, that booty be jiggly. Helldivers does away with health bars, so giving us clear indicators when a shot hurts is really important. There have not been many games this past year that can make navigating the chaos as much fun as this one. Finding a rare sample during big battles can make me feel like Leslie Nielsen in Naked Gun. Another point towards the Helldiver's basket is how difficulty is handled. Instead of enemies just gaining more health and becoming spongier, the enemy types get more varied and missions get expanded as difficulty gets cranked up. Remember that big Bugs Life looking guy? Well, he's got armor now, so better get something that penetrates, or shoot them where they're exposed. The game's got 9 difficulties all in all, so you are sure to find something that hits the sweet spot. So far, my highest difficulty setting has been Suicide Mission, and boy is it a lot of chaos, but a lot of fun too. The game has a great gameplay loop. Because matchmaking is swift and individual games are quick to play, you're always left wanting more. It has that magical just one more raid before I go to bed type vibe to it. You also get to plan your raids beforehand, choosing your own gear, stratagems, and even the place where you will land on a map. Want to get a hot start shooting yourself right into the enemy forces? Sure bro, go ahead. Want to spawn on the outskirts and maybe find yourself an additional artillery machine and plan your route? Hey, whatever floats your boat. Helldivers also has a global real-time war map that shows how liberated the planets are, paving a way for some cool community-driven encounters in the future. The game falls into what Yahtzee would call a cock-up cascade, where one mistake or a team wipe can mean losing the whole run because of the enemy forces overrunning you while you try to get your gear back. And to be fair, Helldivers can sometimes be very unforgiving, because most of the enemies run faster than you. Running without shooting is rarely an option. And naturally, these type of game mechanics are a personal preference, so you're gonna have to make your own opinion on this one. There is no perfect game, however, and Helldivers is not an exception. Initially sitting at mixed reviews on Steam, the game had a very rocky launch, causing players to get the blue screen of death or just not being able to connect into the servers. According to the devs, this was because of the overwhelming support that the game has been getting. However, most of these issues have already been fixed and getting into a game is mostly smooth. Gameplay wise, however, I have little complaints. The enemies could be a little clearer in terms of spawn rate and aggressiveness. Sometimes I felt there should have been more enemies in a hive, and sometimes quiet areas were suddenly full of never-ending hordes. Helldivers 2 apparently also launched with a fewer difficulty modes and around the same amount of guns when compared to the original, but since I didn't play the first one, I don't have a strong opinion on the subject. Let us finally get at the metaphorical alien elephant in the room. The reason I think Helldivers 2 might be showing us a glimpse at the future of gaming is simple. It is a live service game, but done right. Now, for those of you who do not know, live service is something that gamers do not like whenever they hear it. It means a game type that gets updated constantly with new gear and other content, but that said content is usually locked behind a horrid paywall. Most notable games of this type are Destiny 2, GTA Online, and gacha games like Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact. The idea of a live service game is to get players to spend all of their money and all of their time on one game and staying with the developer instead of cheating on them and playing games that respect your time and money and won't go out until 5 AM while having your phone's GPS off. Never mind, I went too deep there. Anyways, the way Helldivers 2 differs from previously mentioned titles is that, at least so far, the game is very relaxed and non-predatory with its currency. You can earn premium currency called super credits both by leveling up your regular battle pass or by just playing the game and finding optional outposts that offer them. When combined, the basic game pass and finding super credits on missions, it took me around 25 hours to afford the premium pass. Now, do I like the fact that games are going towards live service and premium currency? No. But do I understand that studios need money to keep updating the game? Yes. Live service will always be a touchy topic, but like it or hate it, it is here to stay. And that might just be where the future of gaming is going towards. Now, would I recommend the game in its current state? Sure. After all, I am the type of gamer that happily forks over some cash if I can have fun in a unique way. And with a price tag of $40, I have almost gotten my money's worth already. However, there are some questions for the future. Is there going to be enough content going forward? Can Arrowhead Studios keep up with the demand and bring us new experiences before the community gets bored? And talking about community, can we get a similar one to classics like Deep Rock Galactic, or are the toxic metagamers going to take over? These are always questions hanging above the head of game makers. Right now, I choose to trust the publisher PlayStation and the devs on the matter. Until that time, I'm going to be doing my part with controlling the invasion. And remember folks, the only good bug is a dead bug.